Hey Ricardo, your logo's getting there. I didn't see that you changed too many things since the original concept that you had. So this one was the one that generally I think most people said that they wanted you to go with, and in the video I said to go with this one. I also said that you want to kind of use thicker shapes to kind of make sure that it sticks out on a shirt when you embroider it, and when you have it on the shirt you won't want to have the name underneath it, so you want to develop a symbol that's more iconic. The main issue with yours was that with a name like 18th Hole, it's really hard to, using the imagery that you did, like the very cliche golf imagery, make it reflect the company when it's not with the name. So something like this that just has the flag and then a line, you really have to focus on making the style very, very distinct, because if the style and the imagery isn't distinct, then it's not going to reflect the company. So something like having just the flag by itself with a line underneath it, there's not a lot of unique elements to it that really tie it to your company. So with the logo that you have for the digital here, it's getting there, but I think, I mean, I don't want you to change your concept now, but you really need to find a way using something similar to this to make it more applicable to your company, and also to make it so that it looks better on a like polo shirt or whatever. So with something like this, it looks like you made the line a little bit more stylized, which is cool. I'm glad that you did that. This is still very, very thin though. I'm guessing that this is the containing shape that you have on your logo. I like the idea of you putting it inside of a containing shape, but I don't think it should be hollow like this. So if you have a containing shape, then you'd probably want to do like this whole area here white, and then do whatever imagery you have inside of it black, or vice versa. So if it's on the other color, then having this whole thing black and this whole area white. So that sets up a background where no matter what imagery you have inside of it, as long as the lines aren't too thin, then it will stick out on the background. So if you have it like on a white shirt, then you have the black shape here, and then whatever white detail is inside it is going to stick out better. So play around with that, possibly. That's one option. Another option, the main problem I had with it, again, is that it's not very distinct. It's just a flag, which you see a lot in golf. So what separates your logo from just any other flag for golf? As far as the type, though, definitely play around with it, because this is very, like, you just wrote out the name of the company in a font that doesn't even necessarily fit the company. So I want you to play around with this and make it a little bit more interesting. These don't all have to be on the same line. They don't all have to be the same size. You're probably going to want to emphasize the 18th a lot more, because the word "the" is in a bunch of company names. Hole is just kind of like whatever. So 18th is going to be the main thing that you want to emphasize for your company name, so that when people see the word treatment or the word mark from far away, then they see the 18 and that pops out, because that's going to be the distinguishing factor in the company name. So I would emphasize that a little bit more. Keep it separate from the logo too. So if this is your containing shape, keep it outside of that, because if this is printed or embroidered at a really, really small size, then this is going to be super tiny inside of it. So you don't want to be confined to that space. You want to be able to break it away from that. So keep this outside of your containing shape. As far as like what it's going to look like on the shirt, you should play around with, we'll come back to that one. You should play around with seeing what it's actually going to look like. See, this is why I said you want to fill the containing shape in, because otherwise it's kind of weird to just have this really thin sewn line around the logo. So play around with that. You can also play around with, like, you know, like I was saying, beefing it up a little bit. Like, this is just some random shape that I did that is, you know, the little hole or whatever. But you can see where when you do the bigger shapes, that it's going to stick out a little bit more. So, like I said, your logo is okay. I think it's a little bit better with the arrow, but I think you still need to play with the shapes themselves. So keep the idea of the flag. I don't want you to completely change your concept, but play around with it a little bit more to make it more unique. So when people look at it, they know that it's for the 18th Hole company, which is your client. So that's what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to separate this logo from the company name without people getting confused about what it's for. All right, so you're headed in the right direction. Mainly just work on those things I emphasized. Definitely work on the type a lot more. I want you to play around with the placement of things. where's your project? Play around with the placement of it. Like I said, don't keep it all on the same line, and change up your font a little bit because I don't think that this one fits them as well. All right, so you're getting there.